Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are here.
That's right, we're here. Woo! Scholars! I'm gonna keep doing this until I piss people off.
I know people are gonna get annoyed. I don't care. Anyways, welcome to the counselor's office. We're continuing the live train and talking about, you know it, Destiny. Though I do think there's a couple of videos coming up that we'll be talking about, like TennoCon I'll be reacting to, and I believe there was a there's another video I need to go look for it about the stop killing games. It's a very interesting topic that is kind of close to home for a lot of us Destiny 2 players, with the whole forcing companies not to take away your games, Bungie sunsetting. So there's a lot that has to go with that. I would like to react to, but today we're talking about Destiny, as we mostly do. But we're talking about, I guess, the how Destiny is. I don't know. It was requested to check this video out, and I've not actually watched it, so I actually don't know what exactly I'm about to watch. If you think that I pre-watch these videos, I don't. They're like actual off-the-cuff reactions. If I actually took the time to watch some of these videos, the videos would probably be like a lot shorter, because I would have like bullet points pre-made ahead of time. But I don't got time for that. I don't got time to watch like 20-minute videos and then go and react to 20 more minutes. I just don't got time for that. So you get raw reactions. Today, we're checking out a video by Geeky Pastimes. Destiny took off the mask and it's just a treadmill. That's right. So, don't know who they are. It's always nice to see new people that took off the mask. That's clever. It's always nice to actually see other people's videos, except, instead of just like one or two people, it's nice to see a little bit more. So we're going to jump in. We're going to see. Link will be down below. Like I said, I
Destiny,
generally don't know.
Not even going into a sequel or anything like that, but for an expansion, have decided to shift their philosophy from one of these types to another. And I think that's really interesting. So, Type A games are honest about what they are and what the appeal is. Simple games like indie games often fit into this category. One of my recent addictions in terms of gaming,
which is why you're seeing an increase in indie games popping off, like Expedition 33. Yeah, there's a reason why indie games are popping up now, and they're popping off.
Is called Shapes. It's a game that's been out for a while. There's a sequel, I think, at the moment. I haven't tried yet. But basically, you spend your time designing systems to make shapes. You know what the draw is when you download the game. You know what the point of it is. You know, as the game goes on, you're going to be trying to figure out the best way to make these shapes, and that's it. There's no hidden agenda. You get exactly what you paid for. Type B games don't really know what they are. They don't have exactly a design philosophy in terms of what...
DMZ was fun, though. I liked it. Am I the only one that liked Call of Duty DMZ? It was fun. It was like, obviously it wasn't like Tarkov, right? But it was fun for what it was. And it was always fun to shit on other players and steal their stuff. Like, it was fun. It's just, it doesn't know what it wants to be, because you can't, like, you can leave with the guns, but it's not like, guns were never an issue. Like, you come in with your own guns. Okay, that kind of defeats the purpose of caring about guns if you can bring your own guns, but...
What are they trying to do? They often try to be everything. They're just throwing it all at the wall and hoping that something sticks for each
This wanted to be an extraction shooter. It wanted to be a battle royale. What else did DMZ want to be?
Individual player. I'd put Call of Duty in this category. While the franchise started off kind of letting you experience adventures in real, or at least realistic, wars, often offering up unique perspectives of different types of soldiers to make it stand out from other games at the time, ever since the original Modern Warfare 2, I think the Call of Duty developers, or Activision as their publisher, realised they could hit a bigger audience by trying to offer much more than that. And it's ended up in a situation where the actual gameplay is kind of irrelevant. They'll throw camo grinds at you, or
Yep.
prestige grinds, or esports modes and competitions.
It is
or
funny because I grinded the crap out of Call of Duty played zombies to get the zombie skin, and I stopped playing. Like, I need to go back and play the new, like, directed mode for zombies, like, give it a shot, like, try it out. Like, I paid for the game, I might as well, play it. Then zombies is usually not bad. So I need to go back, play a little bit of that, but Destiny's been making me, literally stick my penis into a blender is pretty much the best way to explain the experience for Power Grind.
Third modes like Spec Ops and Zombies or DMZ, there's so many options every time you load up the game. And a lot of people will inevitably realize that the mode that they've picked is actually kind of shallow and not that much fun. But then just as you're realizing that you're wasting dozens of hours to unlock a camo that you'll never use or reach a rank that's essentially meaningless, then another mode is right there waiting to entice you. There's another new update with something new to do, and they try to keep that cycle going on for a year until the next game is out. It's all about trying to kind of keep you occupied with lots and lots of different things that might potentially be fun, even if none of them really are. Right now, it's pretty hard to say what Call of Duty is about, or what it is, or what it's trying to.
I know he's talking about Call of Duty and like the main issue with it, but I actually want to play some Call of Duty now. Like, he's done nothing but make me actually want to play it. He's advertised like, you know what? It's more fun than what Destiny is. I mean, I'm having some fun with it, right? But like overall, like, I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time, so it's kind of like you're showing me this, and I kind of want to go shit on some people.
To do beyond obviously making money. Because it's so different for different people. For some players, Call of Duty is a chance to show off how good they are at a particular set of skills that revolve around the game. For some people, it's a chance to socialize. It's something that they have in common with other people who they want to spend time with. For some people, it's all about progression, like the camo grinds or the prestige grind. It's a way of tricking your brain into giving you a sense of having achieved something, even if that thing is actually really easy. Achieving stuff in life, very, very difficult. Achieving, unlocking a camo in Call of Duty, very easy, gives you much the same feeling. So some people use Call of Duty to chase that feeling.
And it does. Like, I no-lifed zombies just to get the zombie skin. And it was so, like, I felt so satisfied when I finally got there. Granted, I did do a lot of cheeses, and I also used the director mode to kind of cheese a little bit, which was funny, but it was grindy as hell, but it did feel satisfying when you got it. And unfortunately, that's when I stopped playing. I stopped playing after that, which is kind of funny. I guess I burnt myself out, but it was rewarding in its own way. Like, you knew you had a goal and you knew what you could get it. That's the one thing that's different between, I think, Destiny and this, is that there was something to chase that you didn't have to buy. You didn't have, once you bought the game, you just played the zombies, unlocked the skins, and you got it. You didn't have to give them money for pretty ornaments.
For some people, it's just something that's mindless, that they can switch off their brain and relax.
Exactly.
And play something that they don't have to think about too much.
Yep.
And I think all of these conflicting things is often what leads to Call of Duty feeling a little bit bland. It never really excels at anything because they don't want to alienate any of those groups of players. I think Call of Duty has never really focused on one type of experience because that experience probably wouldn't be that good. I mean, have you ever met anyone that when you say, what's your favorite game? They say a Call of Duty game. Like, I think everybody who plays Call of Duty knows it's not incredible, but it just offers so many different options.
I'm going to be honest. If we're talking about like old school Call of Duty, like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, that's it, man. That's it. That's the jam. I loved when I went back to play on Xbox, and I played Xbox 360 games, and I played Black Ops 1, and I tried to play Black Ops 2, but I think it was like, there was some cheaters and that, but Black Ops 1, like, oh man, just being able to go in, I had so much fun. I have a video on the channel of me going back, but so many people were playing Black Ops 1, and it was such a different experience. Oh, chef's kiss.
And there's always something to do on it. It keeps people playing it and keeps people buying it every year. Type C games do know what they are, but they want to hide it from you.
Yep.
They're fundamentally dishonest games. Not necessarily in a bad way. I mean, MMOs or any RPGs with a live service element fall into this category. They draw you in with the promise of story, adventure, exploration, but the underlying system that will hook you is often just about making a number go up. So you can take on increasingly difficult content, and of course you'll never complete it, so they have to keep...
I'm gonna be honest. Again, I've said this several videos, but I'll keep saying it since we're actually looking at it. I tried playing WoW in high school if my friend wanted me to play it. I literally didn't get... I killed one wolf, and I was like, nope, this is too complicated. I almost died to one of the wolves. I'm like, nope, I'm good. This is it was like you have so many like hot bars. Like I was also stupid, by the way. Like it's not that overly complex, but now to me, because obviously I play like Diablo and stuff like that, but I was like, I'm good. I'm checked out. I always thought maybe I'll go back and try World of Warcraft just for the funs of it, but I just don't have time.
Finding arbitrary ways to keep that treadmill going. World of Warcraft is a great example of this. You start off with the whole world of Azeroth to explore, fighting angry pigs in a forest. You move up to taking on bandits and cultists.
Oh,
then,
was it pigs?
before you know it,
I thought it was wolves.
From dragons.
See, I already forgot. Was it pigs at the beginning? I swear I thought it was wolves.
Evil wizards. But then they couldn't end the game there because people would stop playing the subscription. So you have to start having to fight mythical beings and even gods, and they need to start introducing extra dimensions or time travel to give you a reason to keep on fighting.
Where have we heard that
before? They want you to feel like you need to keep on progressing, to keep on getting more powerful. And that's difficult to do when you're kind of objectively the most powerful being in the universe. But people love that progress. People love chasing after a bigger number. And the illusion, the lie, the sort of set dressing around it is important. I used to play loads of World of Warcraft, but once I started seeing everything in terms of making a gear score number go up, it dawned on me that I could spend hundreds of hours making that number go up, only for a developer to decide to make the target number much bigger, thus rendering all of those hours even more worthless than they already were. But if you buy into the illusion, you can convince yourself you're saving the world, or you're reaching the ultimate goal of being able to fight the biggest villain.
I'll be honest, that doesn't apply to Destiny. Like, no one has that connection as like an actual real MMO. No one has that connection. It's not like Destiny is not a real MMO. Destiny is a first-person shooter. It's like comparing Borderlands to WoW, right? It's not the same. It's not the same.
You have to ignore the fact that the world will be saved with or without you. There'll always be another crisis, and there will always be a more powerful villain. And this isn't even a new idea, this idea of lying to the player about why they're really playing the game. Pac-Man works on the same principle.
Again, I'm going to tell you right now, Destiny is a looter shooter. The reason people want to play the game is to shoot and to loot. And then you loot to get the best loot to continue shooting. It's a cycle. That's the point. It's not just pretty number go up. That's the problem. And that's why there's a massive disconnect. That's why a lot of people don't like it in Destiny, because Destiny is not a real MMO. Like, it is literally a looter shooter.
Ostensibly, you were trying to escape a maze that was haunted by ghosts. But of course, when you played Pac-Man for more than like 30 seconds, you knew there was not really any escape. The real game was making your score go up higher and higher. You were making the number go up. And there was always a higher score to reach, so you'd keep on spending your time and your money on the arcade machine chasing after an impossible goal. It didn't matter that being good at Pac-Man wasn't an important life skill. It didn't matter that the game didn't have an ending or anything like that. It was just about convincing your brain that you wanted to make that number go higher, whether that was to beat somebody else so they'd have leaderboards to try and trick you into thinking, okay, this is something important, you're showing someone else by beating them, or whether it's by the promise of having, maybe a maze layout that you haven't seen before. Whatever it was, Type C games pretend to be giving you an adventure, when really, they're just trapping you on a treadmill.
Wow, you kill wolves, you start Alliance? Oh, did I start Alliance then? Because I swear I killed wolves, so maybe I was Alliance.
To get more money out of you. So, back to the topic of this video. Destiny. Destiny definitely used to be a Type C game.
Yep.
It sold you on the idea of exploring new locations in the solar system,
Yep.
battling mysterious enemies, and trying to prevent humanity's extinction by battling whatever threats came in each expansion.
That's true.
Of course, they could never make enough story content and new locations to match the speed that players would burn through it, so the real game, the kind of hidden game, was making your light level go up and trying to get the best weapons, the best loadout, whatever it was. When players were getting the best weapons too easily, they made the weapons have random rolls, so now to get the best weapon was much harder and with
No. That's not the reason. Destiny has always had random roll weapons. It has always been that way. No. This from the beginning of the game, Destiny 2 should never had it. Like that's the draw to Destiny, right? That is the difference between Destiny and like Warframe, is that you could farm random roll weapons and get the exact gun of your choice. Like there was merit into what to chase. Like that's the goal, right? People love the random rolls. They love playing with different roll weapons and crafting the perfect gun to go kill the things. No one, I don't know. Unless you're talking about crafting, like people want crafting back, right? But there is no shot that is the problem or has ever been the problem. Like, I don't know if he like where the conception of like where that comes from, because Destiny 2 launching with preset, like it was boring. It was bad. It was garbage. It was very unenjoyable. Like even Borderlands has random rolls. Sure, like there are exotics or the legendaries, are kind of preset. But the guns in general are randomized. Different things, different stats, and that kind of made you care a little bit to a certain extent about the different guns. Especially now, Borderlands 4 lets you kind of hot swap pieces around and kind of build your own gun, kind of like crafting in a way, which is kind of funny. But the fundamental issue is not the looting. I don't understand. Like, sure, at the rate that you get the certain roles, that might be an issue. Like people will argue and say we should have crafting. RNG is too fickle. Generally, I think most people like the fact that we have random rolled guns. I don't agree with that statement that they took away this preset and then put RNG to make it more of like a treadmill farm. Like, no, people need something to chase. Like, you don't play Destiny to kill the bad guy just to have a preset gun, unless it's an exotic. You play because you want to get the best roll on a gun, and it feels fucking good when you do.
Take a lot more repetition and take a lot longer. When players reach the top light levels, like the absolute highest that it would ever be reasonable to get, they could just add more, or occasionally
which is what they do.
Set everyone to a lower number so they could keep that treadmill going. Importantly,
this part, absolutely true. The light system has always been a problem.
Though, it wasn't the obvious focus of the game. If you played Destiny, at least as a more casual player, a more normal player, you'd feel like you were investigating mysteries and exploring new worlds. That was the thing that hooked you in. The progression was a means to an end. You wanted to get your Guardian more powerful so you could access more of the content. You wanted to be able to fight in new battlegrounds or take on new enemies. You were making your character stronger so they could deal with the threats they needed to. There was immersion in that. Of course, the immersion was broken for anyone who got too deep into the game. You'd start seeing the code, the way sort of Cypher does in the Matrix. You start seeing everything just as numbers. It turns
he plays
the
on
game
console.
into essentially a spreadsheet where you knew exactly what to do and how often to maximize the return and make your numbers go up in the most efficient way. But with the newest expansion, it seems like they've decided to change the way they present Destiny. It seems like they've tried to turn Destiny from a Type C game.
You can aim down sight with that gun.
All of that.
You don't have to hip fire.
Stuff about why you're really playing the game behind immersion and storytelling and adventure, and they've decided to shift it towards being a Type A game. The biggest and most obvious change for a lot of players with the Edge of Fate expansion is that
the story was all right, and then the gameplay became fucking worse. Like, it was just the most generic, boring ass gameplay.
portal has replaced the destination screen. So previously, when you were deciding what to do in Destiny, you'd be presented with a kind of abstract, artistic map of the solar system, and you'd be choosing which planet to visit. Sometimes new planets would appear on there. There were arcane icons dotted around that didn't immediately make a lot of sense, but, you know, it was a mystery to unravel. There was a quest page which often had vague and cryptic instructions on what you could be doing next, and you'd have to try and work out what that was. There were ritual activities like Crucible and Vanguard Strikes and Gambit, which would give you little straightforward jobs to do that weren't very mysterious, but it kind of made sense within the immersion of the universe. I always kind of thought of it as my Guardian was just going on jobs helping with strikes or taking part in Crucible or Gambit as a kind of side activity, but their main job, the thing they spent most of their time doing, was exploring the solar system and fighting the threats that were found there. It was at least a little immersive as long as you didn't think about it too much. But with Edge of Fate, the destination screen is still there, and it's cluttered with like 100 icons from past
It is, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think the cluttering was the problem. For anyone that continues to play the game, that's not the problem with the destination screen. It's the fact that new players are thrown, like, we did a new player playthrough, and we were just thrown in immediately into the Final Shape expansion. And then we left that, and then we're thrown into Episode Heresy. And then we get like 30 different pop-ups saying, do this dungeon. Oh, wait, the 30th anniversary. Do this. This is just so fun. It is just spamming advertisement to buy Bungie's shit. That's the problem. When you go to a movie theater and sit down, sure, you have some trailers. It's pretty normal. You might have some advertisement. But when you buy like a movie and you put it in, the last thing you want to see is ads. You want to put in your DVD or Blu-ray, whatever it is, and the first thing you see, let's be honest, you're probably downloading on a streaming service. You turn on the play button, whatever it is, and you want to watch the movie. You don't want fucking ads. If you have to go through multiple ads, in fact, if you put in a CD to watch like Fast and the Furious, rather just thinking of family, but the first thing that pops up is like the Simpsons TV show. You're like, what the fuck? That's not what I chose. Why is it the Simpsons? And then you watch you have to watch like an episode of it. And then you go into the actual movie of Fast and the Furious. That's what it is to play Destiny. You log in, you try to do a new player service game, and then once you're done with the missions, as soon as you log out and log back in, you're thrown into the Final Shape. You're like, what is this? I have no idea what's going on. Why is this here? Who's this? What's that? Why do I have 30 different pop-ups? And the portal kind of doesn't fix that. It actually makes it kind of worse in the regard that when you buy, like if you're a new player and you buy, like say you bought all the expansions on sale, you load up, you have no idea where they're at. Like seriously, you just like, whoops, that's not what I want. You load up in Destiny. The first thing you see is this. I'm a Timmy. I bought the Final Shape. Once you complete the new player experience, we know based on Bungie's response that you get thrown into the first mission. Everyone, they're not changing that. They said we're going to continue to have everyone go into the first, most recent mission. Not the seasonal, but they will do the campaign. So little Timmy buys the Final Shape. Then they load in. They beat the thing. If they log out and come back in, the first thing they're thrown into the Edge of Fate. And they're like, that's not I didn't buy that. I didn't buy the Edge of Fate. I bought the Final Shape. Where's that at? They come to this screen. They're like, where's that at? Where's the Final Shape? Is it here? Guys, where's the Final Shape? Where's the final? Where is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Where's the final shape at? Where's the final shape? Quest? Is it a quest tab? Where's it at? Where's the final shape? Oh, go to, wait, where is it at? Oh, the world? Oh, okay. And then you might have the icon right here that tells you, hey, the final shape. Do the final shape. Like that, it's just, I don't understand how hard it is for Bungie. I don't understand. The portal system just is anti-new player. All around is just anti-new player.
Expansions now. But the focus is on the portal screen. This is where Bungie want you to pick your activities. So instead of traveling to a planet and then doing something in a certain area of the planet, having to travel over to an activity and start it, you have the portal screen, a purely functional menu that tells you the most efficient way to make your numbers go up. You choose if you want to play solo or in a group or play PvP crucible activities or pinnacle difficult activities. Then you can choose to hop in quick play and do whatever, or you can pick one of the activities from a menu. It doesn't bother with worrying about, what planet it's on, or what type of enemies you're fighting, or why you're doing it. None of that is included at all. Instead, it will tell you how long it will take and what loot you will get as a reward. So you can do that calculation about how much time you're willing to invest, what you want to get out of it. You can choose your difficulty modifiers, picking how the enemies will act or what limits will be.
That's great. I think the ability to choose the difficulty and choose the modifiers, that is probably the best thing about the portal. I truly do. I want to make it very clear. I love that. I love that you can choose to play how you want. That works. But do you need the portal to do that? No. You could go into over here. Let's just for science. I'm in the game. Let's say I want to play Salvation's Edge, right? All the way over here. I don't know why they chose to do this, but I'm playing Salvation's Edge. Wow. There's a customized menu? That's crazy. So click customize, and then you have your tiers, and then you can have your modifiers, and there you go. How hard is that? Instead, looky here. We have an abandoned set of planets. 90% of the game has been abandoned. It's soft sunset. And sure, we've heard Bungie say, well, somewhere in the future, we're considering possibly adding the dungeons to the portal. Bitch, people bought this content. It should have already been planned. You should never release the portal until the entire game was ready to ship in the portal. That's how it should have been. Not this, we're gonna sell you. You're gonna buy this content that is useless. You're gonna tell new people, are you gonna let them know, hey, if you buy this, all your shit is pointless, except for maybe the guns, right? The armor, all of it. You're not going to be able to do power grind, which, by the way, I think is bullshit. They can literally choose to preset the seasonals. Like, they could choose, like, hey, play the campaign this week, and you get ×4 bonus power for playing the Final Shape campaign or something. Like, it's not that hard. They don't have to go over the top to program this. Any excuse they come up with, I've got a counterpoint. It's not that hard. It's just the fact that they don't want this. They don't have the time, and they don't want to spend money on it. They want to do the most for less to be able to get as many people in the door. And yet, how many people are getting the door? Not that much. Wow. 24 hours, and it's already going down. Ain't that something? Going from the lowest count at its peak, the final, the edge of fate is peaking at 100K, and that's because of the raid. It was at 90K, and now we've dropped off almost 40K. Wow, really doing the Lord's work. The hamster wheel is really saving the game.
Put on you. You're completely in control. It's no longer an adventure at all. There's no immersion in any way at all. There's no mystery. Instead, Destiny is just going into being a
No. Edge of Fate had secrets, dude. It had secrets. Don't say there's no mystery because there was like 30,000 of them. That's all the Edge of Fate was it's a mystery. Hell, people wondering what they were buying before they bought it. It was a mystery. Bungie wondering if the game was going to work. Also a mystery.
pay game. It's
surprise!
super clear about what it is. It's a shooting gallery where you make the numbers go up. And it's completely given up on the pretense that there's anything more to it. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all, the portal screen. Like, what is the in-law explanation for the Guardians having to go, you know, fight the Hive on the Dreadnought, but they've now got infinite grapples, or the enemies, they can choose to make the enemies all drop screebs when they die that will explode, so they get more rewards. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's just a part of the game, because it's like, oh, if you add these modifiers, your numbers will go up a little bit more. Of course, I'm being a little bit harsh here. There is still a story. There is still a new area to explore, Kepler, but it sort of seems to have taken a bit of a back seat. While the Edge of Fate's expansion's narrative has received a lot of praise from the community, to me, it's a far cry from the awe that I felt at the start of Destiny 1. There's so little mystery left in the game, and the writers seem to be terrified of leaving anything unexplained.
By the way, I'm going to say right now, most of the mysteries and secrets weren't very secretive in Edge of... like, it was more annoying than it was a secret. Like, you had to find... all the secret was, oh, you have to do this thing, but it's around the corner, hidden by a rock. It's like... It's crazy because Bungie, the old Bungie, used to know how to do Easter eggs, and those are fun secrets. But now, when you have an entire expansion focused on secrets and hidden stuff, it's not really special or unique, especially when you're trying to do side missions and they're hidden. Like, wow, that's crazy. Secrets, you can't even do the side missions. It's so hidden. Oh, like, brother.
I loved when I first played Destiny 1 way back in the alpha, and it was like, oh, okay, what's happened to this world? Everything's destroyed. You'd start fighting the Fallen. It's like, okay, this is this alien race that have come. Why are they here? What are they trying to do? And they're attacking you, and like you know you have...
Destiny 1 feels amazing because it feels like sci-fi apocalyptic. It feels like you're back. You are the small man. You're up against the darkness. You're up against like literal gods. You don't feel like the world feels unique, but now it feels like the best way of explaining Destiny now is it feels like we're playing Fortnite, everything's over the top. Like, I mean, outside of the fact that we look like Fortnite with all the cosmetics that we're getting, and crossovers, but it doesn't feel like the sci-fi. It just seems fantasy. There's not science fiction. It's not like more like, you could say, sure, space magic, but it feels like they moved away from the sci-fi into just the full-on fantasy, like wizards and knights and dragons, and it feels like they've just gone crazy. Like, it doesn't feel like sci-fi, like the more, like, I don't want to say realistic sci-fi, but it felt more realistic, right? It felt like, okay, it's not over the top. Everything we do in Destiny 2 is over the top now. It's just like, we have literally a giant freaking butthole as a god that apparently is being, that was killed by a robot that has the power of love. I don't know. It's just a robot that's also an abusive lover and murdering her lover to try to get the perfect future. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, the stories are so convoluted and stupid, and it doesn't feel like like the original Destiny. It just doesn't. I think the tone was better in Destiny 1 than it ever has been in Destiny 2. The closest we got was Witch Queen. And it felt like the mystery, the world, it was definitely more sci-fi. It was still over the top for sure. But it felt closer to like the Taken King-ish style stuff. But it definitely the vibe changed.
To fight against them, but then there's also the Hive that seem to have kind of magical powers, and they're incredibly strong. And apparently they're on the moon, which has been abandoned by humanity because it's been taken over by the Hive. That was cool. Having that mystery in the game felt very, very cool. And I think they kind of ruined it all by explaining what was going on with every single element of that. Did we ever need to find out what the Hive were doing or why? Couldn't they have just been this mysterious race that had taken over the moon? In the Edge of Fate campaign, which is very short, we very quickly find out what's going on and why, what the stakes are, you know, what's going to happen if we fail, and what we need to do. Every mission in it is essentially the exact same thing. There's a couple of puzzle sections, a few combat encounters, and then a boss. It's seemingly designed around being used as content that they can repeat later on, rather than being designed to, you know, serve the narrative or tell it in an interesting way. You don't kind of gain new abilities as you go through, which then you can use in an interesting way. There's no long story sections or big surprises and twists and things like that happening within missions, because that wouldn't be fun when you repeat it later on. So instead, it's just puzzle encounter, traversal encounter, combat encounter, boss encounter, over and over again.
Yep.
There isn't a new seasonal activity which will drip feed us content over the next season or so. Instead, they're just dumping a load of story immediately right.
So here's the deal. I have a hot take. There is so much content that people paid for that Bungie removed. I'm okay with them not pushing out new seasonal bullshit, especially since they don't keep it. Like, this is the first time in like years that they brought back anything from seasons, like Southern Spire, the Coil. What else did they bring back that we whatever, right? They're bringing stuff back. I'm okay if they make seasons are free. I'm okay if they don't continue to crank out useless bullshit, and instead they take the time to just bring back stuff we lost. If they brought back sunset stuff, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them just milking whatever they need to milk during seasons in between the expansions, since it's free. I don't care what you do if it's free. Now, I hope it's like fun, at least, right? And I can enjoy it. Like, if all it is that it feeds into the power grind and the loot's not good, then I'm not going to care for the activity. Like, I think Rights of the Nine was a perfect example of what happens when you do something free and the loot is not that good. No one gives a shit. And it was probably one of the worst events that we've had outside of maybe Heavy Metal. Though, granted, Heavy Metal was not as much of a pinnacle as, you know, Rights of the Nine was. I'm just gonna say right now, like, I'll be okay if seasons are a way for Bungie to kind of use as a flex space and they just bring back old stuff. I think good. Bring back all the sunset. I want to see if they were to say, hey, seasons, you're not going to really get much. You might get some narrative. That's about it. But not actually like missions or anything like over the top. They cut out the bullshit and they're like, hey, we're going to bring back Leviathan. It's just going to take a year to do it. You're sacrificing the seasons in between for old content that people paid for. Good. Bring it back. Bring it all back. Like, if we can, and if that means like we can eventually get Wrath of the Machine too, bring it back. It's free. I don't give a shit, because most of the stuff we got from seasons was bullshit anyways. That we paid for and it was removed. That's just my thought. I don't know. Maybe hot take.
At the beginning, and then now it's time to make the numbers go up. And just in case that you're worried that you'll get the numbers up too high and get bored, they've already said very clearly they are going to reset everyone back to 200 when the next expansion comes out, so you can do it all over again. So just think, if you're someone who's playing Destiny right now, just think to yourself, is what you're doing fun? Are the activities that you're doing fun? Why are you doing them? Are you doing them just to get your power level up? Why are you doing that when they're just going to reset everything back to 200? And in my mind, it gets even worse. Part of the new design philosophy with Portal was to allow us to play the way we wanted. to give players the chance to enjoy the game. Maybe
Isn't it crazy to play your way, but there's only like 10% of the game in the portal? That really helps.
not in an immersive way, but by kind of finding unique ways to make those numbers go up as fast as possible. Like when I'm playing shapes, which, as I said, I absolutely love, and that's all about just making shapes as efficiently as possible. I really enjoy finding new little tricks, new ways of doing stuff that saves me time or makes something more efficient. And in Destiny, one of the first examples of this in the new expansion was that players found that there was a boon that gave you infinite grappling hooks, and there was an activity that would normally take a very long while, so would give you good rewards. And using the grappling hooks, you could get through that activity incredibly quickly, with some slightly skillful swinging around. Bungie immediately banned this. They got rid of the infinite grapple from the game, and they nerfed the amount of rewards people were getting. Despite
Which is still comical. Every time people bring this up, I have to mention every time. It was literally in their live stream and they showed it off. And it was working as intended, but Bungie's like, you playing the way you want. Like, I'm gonna be honest. No one wants to do Encore, but people had so much more fun with the grappler modification. That made it fun. It made a lot of content fun. It's just really stupid that they took it away.
What they said before launch about players being able to find cool and interesting ways to kind of almost, break the game and do things more efficiently.
That they did. One of the lead designers said, like, hey, we're gonna let them. They may even break the game. Like, that was literally what they said, and that they would, let it ride out and stuff like that. I don't know if they said they'll let it ride out, but they essentially said that they knew that players were going to play and they were going to experiment and they were going to find things that maybe they didn't see. But one of the things that they did see was the grappler ability. Like, that's not something that was a surprise. Like, because Bungie showed everyone grappling around in their own mission.
Than they could before. It turns out Bungie actually does want to control how quickly you make the numbers go up, because they want you to spend the whole of the next 6 months slowly making them go up, instead of finding ways to do it all now. They're terrified of the idea that you'll have all of your fun now and then move on to another game. Instead, they want you to have to keep on coming back. They've said things like, oh yeah, once this season ends and next season, then you'll be able to make your numbers go up, an extra 100, and then you'll be able to make your numbers go up an extra 100, and then we'll reset them all.
Right. To Bungie's defense, and this is probably the only time I'll ever defend this, they have made it clear, unless they scummy and they change their mind, if you're at 200 right now, you don't have to do the 200 grind. You will start Renegades exactly at the seasonal grind, which is great. But honestly, he's right. Like, next year, when they do the Shattered Cycle or the Alchemist, wherever it is, he's probably right. They're either going to do 100 more or they're going to do 200 more. I personally think they should just do like 50 levels. 50 levels and then maybe 150 more, and do 50, like do 100 for the first half of the season and 50 for the next. And I think we're okay, and make it like not as grindy.
Taken their mask off Scooby-Doo style, and all that's underneath is a treadmill of repeated content tied to a progression.
Year-old content. The best way to level is not playing the new expansion. The best way to level is playing years-old content. Sure, we do have like solo ops that were specially made using old assets, which is fine, and I'm okay with that, because you might as well use what's already in the game. I always thought it was stupid that some cool locations were just never used. I'm okay with that. That's great. But it's still funny that that's the best way to farm for power level and not the paid expansion. You would think Bungie would want you to, buy their expansion. Even the raid, the pinnacle activity from the expansion doesn't even give you pinnacle gear. And it is so funny. It's like, hey, we don't want you to play the expansion, play the free stuff.
That they're openly saying will reset every 6 months. Who your Guardian is or what they're doing doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is that the numbers go up, and at the right rate. They've even worked to make that number as meaningless as possible. Before, your light level was important because it was your power relative to the world, so you used to be able to get stronger in order to overcome enemies. Now, nearly every activity has some kind of cap. You can't overlevel old content and have fun blasting through it or increase your chances against a tough boss.
Yeah, what's the point of grinding up to a level if you're capped? Like if you get to 300, but you play an activity that caps you by 50, like it doesn't make sense. Like what? You're capped at 200 or something, and you're like, well, then why do I need to grind for 450 or 550? Like, well, if I'm capped, then what's the point? What is the literal point?
By getting more powerful, you don't need to get stronger even to pull your weight on a team, because if you're playing with people who have a higher light level than you, it'll just balance your power out so you can play together. Whatever you're doing in the first day after you finished a campaign is the same as what you'll be doing in 6 months, and it will feel the same difficulty, but the number will be bigger. The raid that just released, Perpetual Desert, crystallized this for me. Before the raid came out, for the few days between the expansion coming out and the raid coming out, I was excited to work towards builds that I thought would give me a better chance to complete the raid in contest mode, which is their special hard mode for the first 48 hours of the raid. In terms of immersion, my Guardian was like preparing for an upcoming battle by making themselves as strong and as versatile as possible. But then Bungie came out on Twitter with a list of things that they were banning because they were too strong.
Yeah.
So the things that I'd prepared to make myself stronger just didn't matter anymore. Bear in mind, this included the special exotic gun.
By the way, no other game that has raids or any MMOs that have raids, they don't do that. To my acknowledgement, they don't disable anything like that.
That they had released with this expansion, you weren't allowed to use that anymore because it was too good. The contest mode capped you at 100 light level, and most people who were doing it were at, around 200 or a bit above 200. So they set the enemy's light level or power level above yours, and despite what they'd originally said, the enemies were actually set even higher than usual. So it was super difficult for everybody. It did make the raid race more entertaining to watch, where the very top teams would definitely push to their limits, and the first teams only completed it after like 15
He's locked the crap in.
hours of play. But for normal players, it was basically impossible. And many teams...
Chat, if you look closer, you can see blood vessels getting ready to pop.
Teams, including mine, gave up without basically making any progress in it. The teams that did manage to succeed did
Oh, you can't see his face! No, my face cam was covering it. No, the joke is lost. He zoomed in with his face, and he was like entertained.
Using game mechanics that Bungie themselves have said they don't want to encourage, like swapping between sets of gear mid-fight. So, imagine again, in terms of immersion, that's the equivalent of your Guardian suddenly taking all of their armor off in the middle of a fight, putting a new set of armor on, putting all their guns away, getting new sets of guns out, and then carrying on. It wasn't an exploit that would just make the game easier. It was essential to be successful because of how Bungie had set this raid up. Bungie didn't care about your adventure, about your Guardian, about your immersion. They just wanted a raid race that would last for a full day, would make the game look popular on Twitch, maybe grab some headlines, get people talking.
By the way, it wasn't that popular. You know what was popular? You know what was popular the same time the raid was going on? TennoCon? Tell me, chat, was Destiny popping off that day? Raid day. Yet TennoCon for Warframe was popping off. Tell me, where do you think all the attention was going to? Was it Destiny? I don't think it was.
About Destiny again, so they set an artificial immersion-breaking limit to force that to happen, even if it went against what the designers before the game came out said that they wanted. Immersion doesn't matter anymore in Destiny. Mystery doesn't matter. Your adventure doesn't matter. It's just all about numbers. The game doesn't respect your time at all. If you want the numbers to go up, you'll be spending dozens of hours per character. If you don't want the numbers to go up, if you're not fussed about spending that much time in the game, they'll try to instill a bit of FOMO, a bit of fear of missing out, by giving the teams that do commit all that time some exclusive emblems or cosmetics or weapons. Whereas in reality, if you do absolutely nothing and don't take part in this at all, because they're so scared of losing you down the line and losing out on your money, you'll actually end up in the exact same position as they are when the treadmill resets next expansion.
That's true.
And this isn't unique in gaming. I think a similar thing.
That's true. Everyone farming for try to go like 550 in 6 months. If you don't play this game, you can come back in and you will be in the exact same spot as me. Well, maybe not exact, because you have to get to 200 first, but
Call of Duty and any game that follows a live service model. They care much less about memorable experiences or immersion and more about keeping you on a treadmill that they strictly control the speed of. Because the more time that you're playing the game, the less that you're playing other games, the more chance there is that you'll spend more money on their game, their product. But they're also aware that if you enjoy a game too much, then you'll actually stop playing the game because they can't possibly make enough meaningful content to keep you happy. So I think they actively don't try. They
don't over deliver, because then you'll set patterns.
Don't want to set your standards too high. Instead of trying to create an absolute piece of art, the best experience they can possibly give you, they've focused all of their energy and resources into perfecting that treadmill side of the game instead. And players have become so used to it. The developers don't even need to dress it up anymore. They can do a Type A game where they're like, yeah, you're going to do a ton of boring activities over and over again because you want to make this number go up. It's depressing when I log into games that I used to love. In Call of Duty, I'm just met with meaningless events, with inane objectives and ugly rewards and some carrot on the end of the string with a single
I don't know,
thing
man. I agree that there's a lot of crap going on in Call of Duty, but Call of Duty has some cool events, like the Halloween event, like the last one I played. You ran around, and you got to fight literally the Diablo, Lilith. You got to fight Lilith, and then the Butcher. Like, dude, there was some really cool events, like badass fighting the giant alien ship, the Pharaoh. Like, they do some cool events. Come, I'm not trying to defend them, but like they do some events that Bungie would never do that are really cool.
I'm interested in that I can only get if I dedicate hours.
And no, I'm not asking for like a Star Wars event in Destiny, right? I'm just saying like those kind of events are really cool.
To doing whatever pointless, forgettable activity they've decided that I'll do this month. I don't feel like I've had an adventure when I play a game of Warzone. When I log into Destiny, I'm met with Portal, a menu of just time-wasting objectives to do that I've done all of them at least once before, but it's like, hey, if you want to make that number go up, you need to do these again. And whether you do them or not, we're just going to reset it all at the end anyway. I miss when Call of Duty was about trying to survive and succeed in a war zone, and when Destiny was about exploring a mysterious solar system in a distant future. I miss the time when games were about adventures and experiences rather than progress.
Well done. So my experience with...
Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what he said. There was a couple of things that are kind of like a little off for me that I don't necessarily agree, like the whole weapons going to random rolls, like that's always been Destiny. So I don't agree with that aspect. Almost everything else he says is spitting facts, like exactly like it's just generic artificial grind for artificial grind. I mean, I know there's like some people who would like to glaze it, saying that it's great for the sake of the game. It's just so healthy. Anyways, hit the like on the video. The link will be down below for your beautiful faces. Check it out. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, don't forget to game out.